All right. Yeah. So I guess Volkswagen had its Power Day, right? It's very similar to Tesla's Battery
Battery
Day.
day.
Yes, of course. Clearly, they've it seems like they've taken inspiration from it, even though they won't admit it. Quite a bit of information coming out of that. So as we know, like Volkswagen and Dieselgate, they're switching the focus to electricity and electric vehicles. Right now, Volkswagen outsources the batteries from LG Chem and SK Innovation. There's some kerfuffle with the United States and patent and all that sort of thing, which was a different topic. But the key focus or the key point is that right now it's being outsourced from battery making companies. They also have some other deals like Samsung and Cattle. So the whole point of this presentation or the day was to lay out their plans for the future for the next 5 to 10 years, I guess. And they want to start focusing on building battery cells. So they've again taken another page out of Tesla's where they figured, they can't just simply rely on these companies because these companies are not just supplying Volkswagen, right? They're also supplying all the other major manufacturers too. So if they want to hit their target of however million cars, by 2030, then they'll need to have their own battery capacity. So the point of this presentation was to reveal a plan for that. They plan to have 6 gigafactories in Europe for a total building capacity of 240 gigawatt hours. They will also develop a new battery cell, what they call a unified battery cell. And it will be of the prismatic type for lithium ion instead of right now LG Chem and SK Innovations, the one that they put in the ID4, ID3s, they're pouch style. It's a little compact, a little denser, but they want to move into prismatic, which I believe that's what Tesla's using.
They're using prismatic on the base model made in China Model 3. Everything else is cylindrical.
Cylindrical. Okay. Thanks. So they're switching over to the prismatic design, and these batteries, their plan is to have 80% of their products using these batteries by 2030, and that's across all their brands. So Volkswagen, owns Audi, Porsche, Bentley, Skoda, so forth. And also with the ability to produce their own batteries, they want to reduce the cost of batteries in their entry-level vehicles by up to 50% from today's prices, and in their volume sellers by 30% by 2030. And of course, they will, because they're dealing with the entire life cycle of the battery, they want to have, or they'll try to ensure up to 95% recyclability with these batteries, so for end of life. So unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but the upcoming cars will not be using those cells yet because the factories still have to be built and go online. The first vehicle will be that Artemis concept car that they spoke about. They're targeting that $35,000 or $40,000 price range. I think it was supposed to be a sedan, but if you Google Volkswagen Artemis, that will be that vehicle. That'll be the first vehicle that'll be using this new battery technology. And I think the target release date is 2025, 2026. Also, they did touch on their little deal with QuantumScape. So of course, they still see the solid state as the end game, and they're still targeting a 2025 timeframe. Again, presumably that will start off as a limited production, or limited volume vehicle, something high end, and then eventually it'll make its way down to their other products. So, kind of the summary. So Volkswagen sees a whole bunch of battery types for the upcoming vehicles for the next 5 to 10 years. For the entry level city cars, for low cost, low range, they're looking at lithium ion phosphates, cheaper batteries. For the volume ones, they're going with lithium ions with high level of manganese to kind of reduce the amount of nickel and eliminate the amount of cobalt in the batteries. Some vehicles will still continue with the current lithium ion nickel, manganese, cobalt, NMCs, and of course, then eventually they'll shift everything to solid state. So that's rough the gist of Volkswagen's Power Day. And then shifting over to the competitor, I guess BMW just yesterday revealed a bunch of specs for their two upcoming electric vehicles. The i4, which would be kind of like a 4 Series electric vehicle, and the iX, which was the iNext NEXT concept car. That's their electric SUV. Just blasting through the i4. It's a 4-door, grand coupe sedan vehicle, 525 horsepower top spec version, targeting a max range of 300 miles EPA rating, and a performance of 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.0 seconds. It will also debut the iDrive 8 infotainment system, so they'll have a large curved dashboard. It'll be kind of like Mercedes, where there'll be 2 different screens, one for the instrument panel and a larger one for the infotainment system, and it will expand on the digital key that's currently out for the 5 Series, 530e, I guess, plug-in, and we'll have integrated Apple Maps. The iX SUV is also targeting a 300-mile EPA range. BMW wants it to rival the Model X and e-tron. The battery pack looks to be 100 kilowatt gross, DC fast charge up to 200 kilowatts, so 75 miles in 10 minutes, or 10 to 80% in 40 minutes, under 40 minutes. The AC charger will be 11 kilowatts, so empty to full in about 11 hours at home. They're targeting a price of starting at a mid $80,000 range, 500 horsepower on dual motor units, and 0 to 62 in 5 seconds. The iX will come in xDrive 50 trim level in the US. That will allow some highlights, I guess. The driver can choose 3 levels of regen: low, medium, high. If you shift to B, it will eliminate the creep and introduce one-pedal driving. The iX also has a lot. BMW is kind of tuning in a lot of recyclable materials in the iX SUVs, so it's stating that up to 50% of its aluminium is from recycled aluminium sources, secondary sources. They stated that 132 pounds of plastic in the iX is recycled. It's made from recycled plastic. The carpeting and the floor mats are made of synthetic yarn from recycled nylon waste from fishing nets. And they also stated that more than 20% of the thermal plastics in the iX are of recycled plastics, recycled materials. So they're kind of pushing the forefront of, electric vehicles, as well as recyclability. And they also touched on the plans that they plan to have 25 new electrified vehicles on sale by 2023 worldwide. But it did say that the majority of those will be all electric. And that was a blast through of the 2 news out of Europe.
Nicely done, John.
The Apple Maps thing, is that, do they get a discount? Do they get a kickback?
I don't know, because I'm thinking, like, if it's integrated Apple Maps, does that mean that iDrive 8 is running Google Android Automotive? Right?
Well, Google Maps makes sense. Everybody's running Google Maps, or the traditional map makers. But Apple Maps is like, so that sounds like some kind of. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be running iOS. If they took a little bit of that scratch.
Sorry,
but that could, if it is running iOS, that could be the Apple car that everybody's been wondering about all this time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Didn't touch too much about it, other than they just said integrated Apple Maps. So
yeah, that is an interesting detail.
Instead of like engineering infotainment, they give you like an iPad 2 and they Velcro to the dash.
Yeah, that would be better than most in-car infotainment systems.
True.
Yes, this really would be.
But more entries into the clean car space are needed and welcome. So.
Mm-hmm. And they are quite like, I'm looking at the news releases for BMW and Volkswagen. I mean, these are just 2 major manufacturers in Europe, and they have pretty aggressive timelines.
They must. I mean, a lot of the places they participate have bans coming up on buses.
That's true. By 2040, right, or 2030.
2030, 2035, 2040, depending on which country we're talking about.
Yeah.